All right, now the broadcast is going live on YouTube. So let me just get the link situated in AMA Archive, and we will be off to the races. Glad you guys are excited. There we go. Okay, we are back on track. YouTube link is posted in AMA Archive. So, without further ado, I would like to bring Pandu up on stage to introduce himself to the fam and bring what news comes from ETH Milan. I can hear you loud and clear. Awesome. Sounds like it was very exciting. And glad you guys were able to go and establish those connections. And it'll be exciting to see what comes of that in time. I think so. I think so. Brutal. Oh, Panda, you still there? Sounds like your mic dropped out. Oh, there we go. You, yeah, you had dropped out there for a few seconds, but it's back now. And I just wanted to toss some context into the new product. It's something that I've mentioned here and there throughout different AMAs and things that we've been working on, and it's been something that's become increasingly. We've increasingly recognized how important it is to be present to fit in, like you were saying, as this piece within the ecosystem. So it's gaining more and more of our attention and focus. Hence, also why the continued pushback on Preon V2, as we're recognizing that this is something that needs to be present for the full utilization of all of these pieces together. You're doing a very good job. Yeah. Yeah, adding on to that, it really goes back to how we do really listen to you guys. We want your feedback, and a lot of these things that we talk about are fluid and can change. And like Pandu mentioned, we're very analytics driven. We try to make the best decisions based on that type of data. But at the same time, there's the user experience that we have to take account of, and that's harder from an analytical standpoint necessarily. We want that feedback as well. So um, please continue to provide that. We really appreciate it. Oh, we just put that on pause, right? That we were saving that to the end. Um, I think one thing I'll toss in there just to keep people on their seats a tad bit longer, um, is that this is the startup phase, right? We're still in that startup phase of Sphere, and we're still building out that ecosystem so that we can have all of these cogs fitting together and have that flywheel go to the extent that we know that it can, and the extent that our skill set and vision can achieve. And that just takes time to build, and it's a very long process, but ever so gradually we are working closer and closer to that goal, to achieving that vision. And then once that passes through, we really won't be in that startup phase anymore. We'll really more be in the a sustainable and growth phase. So it's just that same vision that we laid out all that time ago is still there. I think it's just that that time scale has been very different, which I think has been difficult for some people, including myself, because I think it'll be very cool to see all those pieces finally at play. But just wanted to add that in. Wonderful. Well said. Yeah, while you're taking that second to catch up, so I like and I want to reiterate what you said about the different levels of the ecosystem, where Sphere is kind of the beginning step, very easy for people to get into and conceptualize what you're doing. Okay, I just buy this token, I earn yield when I lock it into Dyson. Dyson is then another step further of okay, let me actually yield farm liquidity, and I can use this Dyson as an auto compounder, and then Preon being the expert mode where you can then you know take assets and leverage it by borrowing from your own assets. So even within Dyson itself, we've talked about trying to provide yield farming opportunities for every for a whole bunch of different risk appetites, and a similar type of thing is true with the ecosystem, where we want to try and tailor to as many different types of users as possible. So I think that was well said and a good way of conceptualizing it as an example. So see any questions? Yeah. Hmm. Right. Yes. Simplifying complexity. Right, right. Simplifying complexity through automation. Um, Very good. Well, I think so. I want to jump to some of the AMA questions posted before, and then we have a couple new ones. So the first was by Bad Reg. Is it possible to get some Dyson Vaults on Token and Scroll? That'd be awesome to see some products compounded through Dyson. Um, Pandu, maybe you can expand on this, but just in general, as we talked about, new Dyson pools will be introduced progressively over time. We can't necessarily make promises for which vaults will be introduced, though, as there are many factors that determine which vaults can be added. I don't know if you'd have anything to add to that, Pandu. Oh, oh, sure, good, good. Just about like getting additional Dyson vaults on board, such as from Token and Scroll. But I feel like we in a way answered that indirectly. Right. Hmm. Right, that and kind of as you were saying, a lot of times people are interested in auto compounding vaults, but there needs to be enough interest for it to be a worthwhile endeavor, and so that's just one of the factors that goes into determining those vaults. But thanks for the nice little touch of alpha for everybody. We'll go on to the next question then by Tony Lights Up. This is taking us a little bit of a detour, asking about to break down how the vault strategies work on Dyson, how the earnings are paid out. So I did want to jump into this real quick for you, Tony Lights Up. So ultimately, it will depend on the vault type, but with Dyson's vault right now being auto compounding LPs, essentially when you deposit an LP into Dyson, Dyson will take your LP and give you a receipt token in return. And that receipt token is your proof of deposit, and it is what allows you to withdraw as well. So now while your LP is deposited, Dyson's going to take your LP, deposit it in whatever underlying platform that vault represents. So for example, Aerodrome, and then that LP staked in Aerodrome will earn the emission tokens from that DEX. Now Dyson's then going to be able to automatically claim and sell those token emissions, swap them for more of your LP, and deposit that additional LP back again on your behalf, thus compounding your position. So you are earning more and more LP tokens over time, and your Dyson receipt tokens represent an increasing number of underlying LP tokens over time as a result. So this is why if you go to the manage and then details section of the vault, you can scroll down to historical data and click on price, and you'll actually see the gradual divergence between the price of the vault receipt tokens and the underlying LP tokens, because the vault receipt token is increasing in value relative to the LP because it consists of more and more LP tokens, all from the vault earnings of that auto compounding. So slight divergence in topic, but definitely wanted to address that question. All right, so a couple other questions came in on AMA questions, and I will route us back to AMA chat. But OXR, when will rewards on Dyson, such as ETH Curve and others, start to stream for YL Sphere? Any plans for it? This depends on what yield is primarily available to the ecosystem to distribute, right? So, for example, with the addition of Preon V2, that will provide star yield, which can then be distributed to YL Sphere holders. So it really depends on what types of revenue streams the ecosystem has to then be able to distribute. And then YL Srini, that means no need if LP with Matic. So you're talking about V3. So possibly, right? So it's possible that we may not require a Sphere V3 in the future, because while Sphere V3 is a good concept, it does have its limits. So the goal is to make V Sphere such that Sphere V3 is not necessary, but that is still ultimately to be determined. Okay. What else is something's going down here in chat about buybacks and burning. Um, I think the core of your question, Peter, is that those tokens get sent to a dead wallet. They can't be utilized if they are indeed burned. So no one has access to that wallet if those tokens are indeed burned. So that would I think that kind of gets to the core of your question. And thank you everyone in chat for helping out to answer things too. Indeed, we appreciate our community. All right. Well, we're caught out on the AMA questions. Let me see if we're caught up on the actual AMA chat because you guys are pretty active, which is great to see. Panda, if you see anything, feel free to jump in as I look through. Yeah, so I just want to add on too about the whole burning versus providing income. This is something we've talked about before, but I know there's often a desire for the burning to come back, but you kind of have to think of it as that is yield that is actively getting excuse me, actively getting thrown away, right? So the only way for someone to benefit from a buyback burn is to have the price of Sphere appreciate and then sell the token to realize those gains. So, like Pandu mentioned, Sphere has been, a static supply for a long time. There's really no reason to reduce the supply further, but there is reason to provide more and more yield for the Sphere tokens such that people can swap for the Sphere token and then earn yield by having the Sphere token without the need of selling it. That's really what's going to drive actual value to the Sphere token. And that's why we're so focused on that. Very good. Opa, new question in AMA questions. Currently top. Oh, what? Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Slowly giving away alpha. No. um, no, no, you're good. You're good. All right. Opa, currently top 150 holder of Sphere. Currently, I don't yield the amount of money that would make me pleased to stay if the price would stay the same or go down. Um, how would the price not be in focus if the yield isn't counteracting the price? Making a bull run. As always, the decision to stay and go is yours. That's always going to be your decision, and we're not here to sway that decision one way or another. That is outside of our realm. All we can do is discuss our plans and our goals and our vision for Sphere, and that has always been to bring more yield to the Sphere token. So, it's kind of your decision if you feel that providing and having a higher APR for the Sphere token will incentivize more people to buy it, thus increasing the price of Sphere, then that perhaps would give you a reason to stay. If not, then that's totally fair. And I think that's all I can say about that. It's not that we don't care about the price of Sphere. It's just that our focus is on providing sustainable yield because that's what actually drives value to the price of Sphere, right? To the Sphere token itself and the Sphere ecosystem. Yeah, also, 25 plus percent APRs. Um, to be fair, quite actually quite nice. Okay. Let's see what else. You are very welcome. Reward. Right, right, right. Okay. Very good. I think we're actually all caught up, which is excellent. The whole point of sustainable yield is that we want to keep it going, right? Whether that be from the ecosystem elements like yield coming from Dyson or Preon or the new product, or yield coming from yield farming of the treasury, all of these different things that can get funneled in the Sphere. So the more yield sources that Sphere has and the more robust those become, the more sustainable the ecosystem as a whole becomes. Especially in bear and bull markets, because now you have multiple sources of revenue that may or may not rely on price fluctuations um, as much, right? You have more depth of market exposure. Hmm. Right. Right. I guess I should change my name to Yield Time. um, yeah, yeah. Um, so Peter, just to jump on this APR versus APY, APR is a specific rate that is distributed at a specific amount of time. So like 20% rate over 1 year, if you have $1,000, it's going to be $200, right? 20% of that thousand over that period of time. But if you compound it at different intervals, then it's going to increase how much you earn throughout that entire time, because after one set of intervals, you've compounded some more. So your actual initial balance is now higher. And now you're making 20% on that new higher balance. So the APY is always going to lead to more because you're compounding it back into the system. Of course, there's different reasons to compound or not compound, but that's part of that understanding of those differences. I also see the conversation about holders coming in and changing the dynamic. So this is an important piece to understand with the YL Sphere market dynamics, which is if you have a set distribution of yield, say 30% APR, and more people push up, more users come in, buy Sphere, push up the price, enter the pool, that APR is going to decrease. Let's say it drops down to 20%. So now that actually decreases the incentive for new users to come in. And the opposite is true. If the price decreases, the relative APR will actually increase to incentivize more people to come in. So at the end of the day, that is another reason why our focus is on providing more and more yield, because that will more yield will be able to sustain a higher and higher baseline market dynamic for the price of Sphere. I also agree with Pandu about the performance of Sphere relative to Matic. Um, Obviously, we continue to work with Polygon. There's a lot of value we think in what they're building, but oftentimes hype does not wait for value. I feel like I'm missing something here in chat. Something else going on. Hmm. Yeah, I think Felipe, it's kind of semantics to say attractive versus sustainable, but I do think sustainable is still a good word, because if you look over the past bear market, we've been able to sustain the APR at around this point despite the ups and downs, which I think is a good reason to use that word sustainable. And again, we're not really here to talk about price too much, especially the price performance of the other markets and that sort of thing. Um, I know it can be a very good discussion, but um, are there any other questions about what we talked about with respect to ETH Milan, Dyson, new product development, the engaged rewards, long-term vision, Sphere tokenomics upgrade, and what's next for the ecosystem. Mm. All right. What to expect coming days, weeks, any update on Sphere Lend, and fundamentals count more. That's why I'm asking about the yield. Yes, indeed. Pandu, do you want to tackle any of those?
Prion, it is finished. It's just waiting for some different things that are required for it to run how it's supposed to be to run.
I just realized that Pandu, I was not recording your voice this whole time. Good job, me. But rest assured, I will be making a summary video for this AMA regardless. But I do apologize for that. I will blame
No worries.
me being sick. I'm still not recovered. But I do
I'm sick as
apologize,
well. Don't
everyone.
worry.
It's going around. It really is.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Hey, it means that we're going to have another AMA together in the future, then, right?
There you go. There you go. Kudos to the people here in Discord. You are all the ones who were able to listen uh, live, so that is good, at least.
Yep. Yeah, we're definitely going to, do a summary, a written summary. Tomorrow we're going to do a community update. So, for those that are not listening, don't worry, we got you.
Now that's what I mean, Nick, is that the for the YouTube stream, I didn't have it set for his voice. It was going through the wrong channel. 100% my error. Yeah.
YouTube rugged me.
I rugged you from YouTube. Okay. Well, I think this is probably a good stopping point. We're hitting the 1 hour mark, and we covered a lot of good information. Hopefully, we're able to answer a lot of your guys' questions. And yeah, I had a moment for sure. So I know I'm gonna get some comments about that, and that's all right. Um, it is what it is. We're humans and we make mistakes. Um,
Yeah,
but
don't worry.
But like I said, we will be posting summaries of this information myself, as well as some written summaries. So for those who were not able to attend today, missed out, that is okay. We will still get the information out to you regardless. Um, and yeah, just thanks everyone for showing up, for being here, for asking your questions, for engaging. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate your time. Big shout out to Pandu. Thank you so much for your time coming out here and talking about everything Sphere coming up and your experience at ETH Milan. We really appreciate it. And yeah, without further ado, guys, make sure you check your YL Sphere to see if you have any locks, and yep, VE positions as well. We're coming up on the change of the epoch as always. Also, as always, thank you so much for being here. Always remember that you matter for who you are, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.